Welcome back for TV Gang. It's a beautiful Saturday, and it's you're chilling with me, your host Lila Blue. And today we're bringing you a very interesting young lady. I know some of you may be confused that on Saturdays we're posting two episodes. Okay, that one I posted earlier is separate from this one, but still I'm just giving you a lot of goodness. So today we're chilling with a lady. In fact, before I say her name, we're chilling with a young lady who is doing wonders in the leadership positions. So I'm just gonna read a little bit of her experience right here with me. So she has been a Rainy House Student Development Office in the Rainy House Student Development Office subcommittee. She worked as a peer educator and in the Gateway to Success program and FYE experience. She was once a resident academic advisor. In fact, she's currently a resident academic advisor. Forgive me for that. She's currently also working in the Wits SRC Academic Office Subcommittee and is an academic officer for House Amani. And another thing that we'll be discussing is her nomination for the upcoming SRC position. So join me in welcoming Atlegang Motsabi. Welcome, Atlegang.
Thank you so much, Lila, and welcome. Hi to the viewers. Yes, Lila's very right. Correct, actually. I am Atlegang Motsabi, and most importantly, I'm candidate number 17. I'm running for the Wits SRC.
Welcome, Atlegang. Thank you for making it to 4TV in such a short notice, because you guys are quite busy since it's the election and the nomination season has passed, right?
Yes.
Election season. Mm-hmm. Right. So I just have a few questions that I asked our viewers at home and some of the students, that generally want to know about your leadership. Because, so you are currently leading a house of plus or minus 600 students. The residents of that house rather, still have complaints over certain services not being rendered. Why should we trust you with the fate of plus or minus 40,000 students?
Woo! Now that's an interesting question. So I'm part of, actually I'm not leading, I'm part of the leadership of 596 students. Majority of them are first years. As Housecom, before we moved into this building, we had a set of demands. And when we got here, some of them were not entirely met, right? So we did liaise with the management. We managed to get a second generator, which was predominantly the main problem was the fact that we didn't have a generator that powered water, and we had a lot of maintenance issues. So it's something that we fought with management, but I believe there is power in numbers. So it goes back to Fees Must Fall, actually. The reason why Fees Must Fall was very successful is the fact that VIT students gathered in their multitudes actually and forced the government to heed to them. So that's something we had to work on as Housecom, and we tried to facilitate that, but our students did not come, unfortunately. So we were like a joke in a way, but we moved. And we decided that, we'd rather focus on it on a case-by-case basis. So that's why any maintenance issues will say that. And our maintenance office is actually doing quite a good job. And we also just want to let the students know that it is a first time being in this building being a Wits Res. So each and everything that's new, it's just like a work in progress. But we've achieved well. We've managed to change keys. We've managed to combat the water issue. So I feel like if we can do it, it's not something that happens automatically, but if there are gains, I think we should get credit on that. And it shows that you're doing something as a leader. So students can trust me to be part of the committee that leads 40,000 students, because every single problem that we got as Housecom, we attended to, and we've made gains in everything. It might not be 100%, but it can be 80%, and that's better than nothing.
Yeah, true. So with the manifesto that students have been reading and will be reading next week is a group manifesto, like you said, you are part of the EFFSC. So I want to know, what are you as Atlegang bringing to the table? What are you passionate about?
Okay, so I'm majoring in finance. So my manifesto, my focal point is going to be the financial issue of the institution. So as I say in some of my videos, in 1994, we got political freedom, we got the right to education, but that right is being taken away from us by financial exclusion, by outstanding balances, by all these crazy caps that NSFAS is enforcing. So basically what my focal point is, it's the fact that, hey, we as VIT students, we even have Starbucks now on campus. We spend a lot of our lunch money on these businesses. So we're saying actually, let these businesses contribute a certain percentage of the enormous income they make into our struggles, which is outstanding balances, which is donating to the hardship fund. So that's one thing. And also residences. I have a lot of friends who stay at Campus Africa, at certain Campus Africa or South Point reses, and they're supposed to do laundry once a month. I think that's absurd. I think as Wits students, we're all equal. So I can't be at a money house, be given the luxury to actually do my laundry at any single time or day, and my counterparts, my fellow friends, can't do the same. So we want all residences to be on equal standings, and actually to go back to the accreditation, because some of these reses, they don't deserve to be accredited, and our students are staying there, and it's heartbreaking. So those are the few things amongst the few things that I'll be focusing on. There's a whole list, but I can't go because of time, of course. So yeah.
Anyway, so with what you just mentioned, I would just want to quickly jump to this question of what are some of the struggles that you relate to among the struggles that you've already mentioned. However, you stay at a residence, so we can exclude that off-campus residence experience from your own experiences. So what are some of the experiences and struggles you faced as a student?
Okay, so the main struggle I've come across, and it actually delayed, I could be 2 years ahead of where I am right now, is the financial struggle. So any student that gets financially excluded, any student that can't come into the institution, is something that really, it hurts me, because I've been at home, I've been at home, and not being able to come into this institution was very heartbreaking. So for me, it's the financial hurdles that we as predominantly Black people, I'm not saying white people don't face them, but majority is Black people, because of how our society is structured. Unfortunately, poverty has a color in South Africa, and that color is Black majority of the time. So that's one thing for me is I'm very passionate about.
Interesting. So moving on, a lot of students got excluded media. What has the EFF done about that so far?
All right, so I serve under the SRC academic office. So the officer is an EFF member. So what happened with media exclusions? Basically, we were able to bring back quite a number of the students that did get excluded, and also the ones who from the ones who couldn't come back, they're coming back next year. And just to give like a side note, so each and every year, Senate, which is actually the body that lays down the rules of the university, sits down with the executive team of your SRC. That does not include the academic officer, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And they actually agree on a certain number of things that the university will establish or implement. And major exclusions happen to be the things that were agreed upon, right? So as the SRC, as the EFF, we say that in the coming Senate, which we will be in power, provided you guys vote, we're going to say away to major exclusions. It's unfair. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense at all.
But looking at how even the end of the year exclusions are structured, don't you think mid-year exclusions are better than end of the year exclusions, considering that you're given 6 months before you come back? With end of year exclusions, you have to stay the whole 12 months at home.
Yeah, with end of year exclusions, I feel like within the 6 months, there's a lot of things that students can face, right? So, and also we all know that sometimes you write that one test or those few tests that kind of knock you off, but you can always bounce back. So I feel like major exclusion is unfair in the sense that it doesn't give you the opportunity to bounce back, because there's been tests that I wrote in first semester that I'm like, you know what, second semester I'm going to go harder, I'm going to push more. Mm-hmm. So if I'm being robbed of that opportunity, I think it's unfair. I think it's very unfair. Whereas with all exclusions are actually very unfair, to be honest, because we go through a lot as students. I was working as the SRC subcommittee member in the academic office in December and January, and reading the appeals, because we were editing them, so students have a fighting chance. People go through hell. People go through hell, and it's unfair and most of all, it's first years. So we say that first years shouldn't be excluded, and final years should not be excluded. You're almost done, and first year you just got here.
Yeah, with the transition is really hard on a lot of students. Yeah, they struggle to adjust to the new environment. We face a lot of students that you find that in their first year they're probably studying something else and then they changed. We've had a lot of guests that also relate to your story of having to stay at home because of finances and stuff like that. And those things are things that, of course, students worry about because it's an ongoing fight. So each and every single year there has to be a strike each and every single year. So you earlier mentioned something when we were off camera that you want to put an end to this culture of knowing or making it a norm that each and every beginning of the year students fight. Can you please just elaborate to the viewers a little bit about that?
Definitely. So striking not only takes away from the academic year, but it also puts students in harm's way, and also you can even get arrested, actually, you know. So what we're saying is that we would like for businesses to contribute a certain percentage, right? And from this money, would like to invest it in bonds, in shares, you name it. And these things earn interest. So then that interest will be poured into your hardship fund, you see, so that it's sustainable in a way. The government even does this with pension funds. That's how pension funds are. You can never hear they've run out, because they invest the money and then the interest then you use to pay it. Because I feel like we believe that it is more sustainable than every year having to knock on doors and march and strike and fight with the institution. So we want something sustainable, because striking shouldn't be a norm. You know, so many, in 2021, when I got here, someone passed away, an innocent person, because of a strike. So away to strikes, but we need to get our demands met though.
We hear you. I hope you guys there at home, you are also hearing what I'm hearing. I feel like we can trust you. We can put you in position. However, I also like the counterpart of having been given leadership. You have to be accountable. So can people trust you to be accountable?
So I know a lot of young people are not familiar with politics or not really dabbling into it. But as the EFF, one of the 7 pillars we stand for is an accountable and transparent government. So even as the EFFSC, which is one of our manifesto points, we have a student forum currently, but a lot of people don't know about it. So we'd like to form a student parliament, actually. So this is where each and every school councils will be in that parliament, so that we know what are the struggles that the medical students are facing. Like, for instance, they don't have buses, or they only have 2 buses during our recess as main students, you know. And then that will also be a platform to be held accountable, because it will be like leadership. These are the things you said you'd provide. What's happening, you know? So that will be more of a way of being more transparent. And I feel like including student councils and society groups, they can even like communicate everything, because sometimes posting on Instagram, sometimes you miss that communication. So if you are saying to maybe the head of the Zulu society, the council, they know that this is what has been done, this is what's going on, they can say on their WhatsApp groups, hey guys, so this is what the SRC is saying. So that's one of the structures we want to implement, because we currently have a student forum. Have you ever been there? No. I've never been there. I didn't even know, you see. So it's not working. So a student parliament will make things very exciting. It will also get students involved with what's happening at Wits University, because I feel like our students are out of touch in a way, because they're not included, because we're not accountable as leadership.
Okay. So name your top 3 achievements as a leader in all the years that you've been a leader.
Okay. So my first one has to be this year, when I hosted an academic dinner, and my role model, and I was so scared to DM my role model, Prof. Pakeg, Mama Kheti Pakeg, but organizing that and just pushing myself, being uncomfortable, and seeing it as a success was one of my greatest achievements. But I would say, I don't want to put it in second place, but one of the most important ones is that in second year, I was the FYE mentor. I was responsible for 15 first years, and majority of them are in leadership positions. They are in the academic office of certain schools, in the School of Accounting. They're doing things. One of them was actually helping with appeals in his first year, actually. And it was great to see that they were like, oh, she's our mentor, she's trying to do these things. And they're also giving back to the community, which is very important.
And being
hands-on. So that's like a tap on the shoulder that keep on going. And then I would say the final thing was appeals that I actually helped edit, reading the stories of students and having, the power to actually decide someone's future, reading why you couldn't achieve certain marks and stuff like that, and actually editing it and structuring in a way and getting those messages that through your help I was able to make it back to the institution. That was heartwarming for me. So yes,
you're impacting lives as a leader.
Definitely.
And I like the fact that as a leader you are not just getting yourself to the top, but you're also standing the ladder down to the ones that are below you to say, hey, I'm a leader, but climb up. I also want to see you doing great things, being in leadership positions.
Definitely.
Thank you. So where do you draw your leadership strategies and zeal from? you mentioned Mamo Kleti Pakeng is your role model, but I'm thinking she's not the only one.
Definitely. So if I don't say my mom, she's going to come for me. So definitely my mom as well. But I say Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, the late Mama Winnie Madikizela. It's actually her birth month. September is her birth month. So yeah. For me, what I draw from her is the fact that when I even wanted to run for Housecom, I was told that, how are you going to survive? You're such a soft person, you know. And following her throughout the years, I learned that there's power in my softness. I don't have to be harsh. I don't have to imitate anyone else. I can be myself, but all I have to do is just be firm in what I believe in. And looking at the documentaries of when she started in her early 20s in the ANC and with her husband in prison, and how she had to, you know, combat all that was thrown against her. She didn't change who she was. She grew, that's what she did, but she didn't change who she was. She was soft in the beginning and she grew as a leader, but she put her foot down and she was firm. So for me, that's something that I'm learning to do every single day, that I shouldn't be insecure about my softness. I can use it. It is a strength, actually.
You can be a soft leader.
You can be a soft leader. Just you need to be firm in what you believe in. You need to know how to put your foot down, but you don't have to imitate anyone else.
And you sound so passionate when you speak about the finances. I do think that you will be firm with our finances. Which strategies, okay, so this one is a question that I've already asked because I said it earlier on. So now I just want to alert the viewers that I'm going to leave her handles down below on the description box, so you can check her out, follow her. So with that being said, you know, when you want to follow someone, you need to know what exactly am I following, what exactly to look forward to. So what can our students be expecting of you, like on your channels as they follow you through?
Okay, so the first thing is the rally we'll be hosting on Monday at the library lawns. This is where I will, plus the 8 candidates of the EFF, will be laying down their manifesto. So Wits students can pull through, grab lunch, and also listen to what we'll be saying, why to vote for us, and what are the things we've done. Because just because we're not in power doesn't mean we haven't been providing food to 233 students, providing beds and all of the things. We can go, you know, we can spend the whole night here listing them. So that's the one thing. And then also elections is on Tuesday and Wednesday. So you'll probably see me running around greeting you, saying, hey, please vote for me because of this and this and this. But most importantly, the one reason we're here at Wits is to conquer the edge. So follow me, because girl is in her final year. In April, I'll be walking down the stage, guys. Yay! So yes.
I'm gonna put the sound like the clap. I always put the sounds with the clapping people, because we know we don't have a live audience. Yeah. However, we're walking towards heading there.
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely.
Any shout outs? You've already spoken about Mami, Mama Kleti Pakeng, Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, the late Winnie Madikizela Mandela. Those are the women that you draw inspiration from, and I like the fact that you're drawing inspiration from these women as a young women as well. You understand the importance of being women continuously running for leadership positions, so as to inspire young women that come after them. Right. So any shout outs?
So shout out to my mom. Yes. Shout out to Lula, because I met her in first year. And she was very confident. That's something that, you know, first year sometimes they're shy, right? But she was very, very confident. She would walk up to you and speak to you. And just watching her channel grow, for me, like each and every event I've had, even the academic dinner, the Celebrator Panther, we were celebrating graduates. I was just telling people that, guys, just believe, like go for it. If you have that YouTube channel, do it. If you have, you know, whatever that you want to start, whether it be doing hair, doing nails, makeup, any single little thing, whether it be maybe joining the swimming club or running for Housecom or running for SRC, just do it scared and do it afraid. And I think you're a testimony of that. What you're doing, it's growing, and I know we're definitely going to see you in the big screens.
Thank you.
And we'll be like, we were there when she was studying.
Yeah, we were there. Check episode number 33 or 34, somewhere there. Yeah, she'll be there. So before we wrap up, you talking about doing nails just reminded me that you also had a kota business going on. Can you just touch a little bit about that, and then we can quickly go to your last words?
Oh, okay, guys. So I matriculated in 2018, and because of financial, you know, situation, and also not being assisted in applying, I couldn't go to university because of the finance. I had no funding at all. So one day I was standing outside, and we literally like stay at a curve, right? And every time people would pass by, right? Pass by, and they'll come back holding like kota. Or not in Rustenburg, we call it spad. And one day I was just standing out there, and it hit me. I was like, all these people are going so far. I'm right here at the center. So I was like, Mom, Dad, I have a proposition. Kopa 1,000 rand, and then I had to sell myself to my parents, and my mom was like, okay, I'll give you 500. My dad was like, I'll give you 500. And then I went to buy the 10 kg potatoes, the bread that's not cut, like everything, every single thing. And I started, and I even had a sign. I wrote it making pen, or black, and I put it there with sellotape at the gate. And I just persisted and persisted, and because I am really good at cooking and stuff like that, it sold. It went really well. I saved the money, and I was able to actually pay for my registration when I came to varsity in 2021. So I took that risk. It paid off. And yeah, guys, you can do this.
Yeah, it's very fascinating that you don't let whatever situation that you're in define you. You define the situation for yourself. You're the one who called the shots, because your life is yours after all.
Definitely.
Anyway, last words. Any last words?
Oh, I've said a mouthful, but my last words is thank you to you. Thank you to the viewers for watching, for supporting an upcoming Black woman and her fabulous production team that you don't see, but I see them. They're doing very well. Last words to the Wits students is the fact that, as we say, 2024 is our 1994. There's a lot of things that have been promised that have not been fulfilled. So we're asking the Wits students to be like America. Donald Trump made promises. America voted for him. He didn't perform on those promises. They voted him out. So we're asking you guys to give us a chance, hear us out, put the misconceptions aside, and do the right thing, guys. But apart from the politics, guys, whatever dream you have, ambition you have, just go for it.
Go for it. So this is the word of the day. Go for it. If you didn't hear anything, go back to the start of the video. Start watching it again. Thank you. A lot of love from Fort TV. Bye.
Bye.